Okay, babe, we're starting to document. What are we documenting?
Filling them back up.
This is our house.
Alright, so it's not really our house, but we do plan on sleeping in it a couple nights, so I guess it is our house. 10 by 12 shed, here we go. First thing I'm doing is measuring in a crisscross fashion to make sure that I got it like a square. And then I start, as far as making it level, I start with that back 2x6 to just get that one single 2x6 level. Then from there I do the next 2x6, get that one level, and then I do all four sides just like that, and that's the cheap way of making a level foundation. So once I got all four corners at a good height, I then make sure it's square again, and then now I start adding in the other concrete. I guess they're called piers is the name. I got them from Lowe's. I think it was like $6, somewhere around there for each one. And it has a wooden block on the top of it, so I just wanted that so I could screw in a bracket to hold the foundation stable. And I'm digging into the ground just because the backyard is basically sand. It's extremely soft. Dug a little bit just to get into a little bit more firm ground, and then I put some general purpose gravel in there and used the tamper to get it a little bit more stable than the sand. So now that I got it all level, I'm just adding in the other piers, and I'm using 4 on the back and the front side, and then 3 on the sides, and then 4 in the middle. And hopefully you guys can see, really don't need to spend that much money on tools. I didn't have a tamper and I didn't have the small shovel, and I found both of those on Facebook Marketplace. For the tamper was $3 and the shovel was $5. So I highly recommend buying used for whatever tools you don't have for this stuff. And here I am adding the floor joists in. The biggest thing I wanted to do is we'll make sure you do some more crisscross measurements to make sure it's square. And then the biggest thing I wanted is make sure that I can fit a 4x8 sheet of plywood on there without cutting it. And use a chop saw just to cut the smaller pieces that go in between the floor joists. Now I'm just adding in the smaller pieces. Pretty self-explanatory for this one, just using 3 screws for each side. In order to get them all in a straight line, you gotta put the screws at an angle for some of them, and I show this in the picture. The edge of the plywood has to be in the center of the floor joist, otherwise it's just gonna sag. For the front and the back, I put a double plate just to make myself feel a little bit better about it, and it's holding a lot of weight, so I just wanted to beef it up just a little bit more. And here is the picture of the L bracket that I put onto the wood block of the piers. This is what's holding the foundation from sliding around. And this is also the only picture that I have of the 3mm plastic that I put under the foundation. For cutting insulation, I just use a hand drywall saw. I don't know what the proper way is to cut styrofoam, but this way I do it. It works really well. And here's the 4x8 sheet of plywood. So when I was putting the floor joist in, I was thinking about the length of this and just wanted the ends of the plywood to line up on the center of the floor joist without cutting it. So that's what I was mentioning earlier. The best way to draw a line across the plywood is using a chalk line. I got that chalk line as a part of a bundle deal. Got like a milk crate full of random old antique tools, and this was in there, and the whole milk crate was $5 as well. So all of this wood is pressure treated, and it's the only pressure treated wood that I use for the whole shed, but it's important just being close to the ground and everything. So that's Lola that's holding down the plywood for me, and the other one is Maggie, and they are sisters. Lola's 11 years old and Maggie is 9 years old, and they're kind of the main reason that we bought a house with a backyard. I'm using screws for all of the plywood just to hold the flooring down, Nails I find get loose over time and then start to creak as you walk on them, but screws hold a lot longer. That's all I got, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I read all the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks so much.